Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince War Reports. Now today, I'm going to blog something that I've been looking forward to for a couple years now. Well, aside from the Wicked two-parter, but anyway, before I get into the movie itself, let's talk about Skydance animation. Now, if you may recall, about a while ago, I blogged their first animated film, Luck. And in my opinion, even though several people had issues with it, mainly due to John Lasseter being the head of animation, though I don't really give a drat, that film was very relatable due to the main character, Sam Greenfield, starting to live a life on her own despite not having any luck or a forever family. Plus, I thought Peggy Holmes did a really nice job directing it. The world of good and bad luck was very creative, courtesy of production designer Fred Warder. Plus, the voice acting was excellent, and I liked that it featured Madonna's Lucky Star song. Anyway, you might also remember that after my blog of Luck, I mentioned that Skydance was working on their second animated film, which happens to be a musical fantasy. And of course, that's what I'll be blogging today. So, without further ado, released to Netflix on November 22nd, 2024, the movie is Spellbound. So, on for the plot of the movie. Set in a magical world known as Lumbria, the story follows Princess Ellian, who finds her parents transformed into monsters by a mysterious spell. With time running out, before the transformation becomes permanent, Ellian must go on a daring quest to break the spell and save her kingdom, while learning that their bonds as a family are always what has kept them together. So, what did I think of the film? Well, to be quite honest, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I understand that it's not one of the best animated films of 2024, but still, I enjoyed it. And to further explain what I mean, let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, the project, initially titled Split, was announced in July 2017, shortly after Skydance Animation was formed in March 2017, with Paramount Pictures scheduling distribution for 2019. The film subsequently underwent changes such as release dates, with Vicky Jensen, who in the past worked on Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night, Ferngully the Last Rainforest, The Road to El Dorado, Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas, Shrek, and Shark Tale, later announced as director, the script being written by Julia Miranda and the writing team of Lauren Hynek and Elizabeth Martin, along with Linda Wolverton as producer, and the film's title changed to The Unbreakable Spell before eventually getting to its current title. The film was acquired by Apple TV Plus in December 2020 before Netflix took over the rights in October 2023. Production was done remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, what are my thoughts on the animation? Well, to me, like Luck, I think the CGI animation is equally as breathtaking, and I find it interesting that the animation was partially done in Madrid, Spain, Los Angeles, California, and Connecticut. Plus, I think the kingdom of Lumbria looks really magical and enchanting, from the castle, the creatures, the forests, and the mountains. Also, I think it's neat that most of the inhabitants of this world are elves. As for the story, well, it starts out very promising, and there are a few fun moments, but then it becomes very serious and heartbreaking when it's revealed that things cannot be as they once were, which means that the king and queen can't be together anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of this kind of story theme, but at the same time, I have seen this concept happen before in films like Enchanted and the Santa Claus trilogy. Plus, a couple of my closest friends, like Steven and Matt, had to put up with their parents being separated too during the 2000s. And believe me, I really don't want to go into too much detail about all that. The music and songs for the movie were written and composed by Alan Menken and Glenn Slater. Now, in the past, I have talked about Alan Menken many times on my show, whether being Little Shop of Horrors or most of the Disney films from 1989 to today. Plus, I'll never forget that time back in late September 2016 when I saw him in concert at the Segerstrom Concert Hall. As for his collaborations with Glenn Slater, well, I think they're still great. From Home on the Range, to Tangled, to Ralph Breaks the Internet, to Tangled the series, and let's not forget their work in Seth Rogen's Sausage Party, which shockingly got a sequel series on Amazon Prime. Anyway, I'd like to talk about a couple of the songs they made for Spellbound. First is the opening song, My Parents Are Monsters, sung by Princess Ellian. This song welcomes the audience into the kingdom of Lumbria and all the tasks that Ellian has taken on as the child of the king and queen who are no longer in charge of their own faculties. According to Rachel Ziegler, it's so much fun and it introduces you to what you're sitting down for over the next hour and a half or so. You know, I couldn't agree more. And personally, I find this song to be pretty catchy and almost reminiscent to the family Madrigal song from Encanto or Belle's song from Beauty and the Beast. Also, it gets a reprise at the end of the movie. Next is The Way It Was Before. To me, this song is one of the more emotional songs in the entire film, mainly due to the fact that Ellian longs for what her life used to be like when her parents were human, and when she felt that they really loved her. Plus, while this song is very tear-jerking, it also gets a dark reprise later in the film. As for a few of the other songs, well, there's Step by Step, which has a tango/flamenco style, Look for the Light, which has a folk style, kind of like a song that Peter, Paul, and Mary would have given us, and I Could Get Used to This, which has a New Orleans and carnival style. So, now that we're done with Mustang notes, let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Princess Ellian is voiced by Rachel Ziegler, whom was in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, DC's Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and next March, she'll be the new Snow White. Bash me if you want, I do not care. Now, to me, Ellian is a very sympathetic character, and while she's been ruling her kingdom for an entire year in her parents' stead, I like that she's determined to break the spell that has turned her parents into monsters. Plus, I like that she shows optimism for a majority of the film, and I think Rachel Ziegler has an amazing singing voice. Next to her parents, Queen Elsmere and King Solon, voiced by Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem. They've been turned into feral monsters while they were on a quest in the dark forest of eternal darkness. To me, they are playful, rowdy, and difficult for Ellian to keep under control, but during their journey with their daughter, they slowly regain their ability to speak and their memories. However, once they reach the Lake of Light, it's revealed that the reason why they were cursed is because of their constant arguing. But, thankfully, they still love their daughter and they want her to be happy, even after becoming separated in the end. Next up, we have one of the royal advisors, Minister Bolinar, voiced by John Lithgow, best known from the 1984 Footloose movie, Santa Claus the movie, Rugrats in Paris, Shrek, and Pitch Perfect 3. He and Nazara Prone have been helping Ellian supervise and hide her monster's parents from the public over the past 12 months. Sadly, with the lack of success of changing her parents back to normal, they think that Ellian should become the new queen due to her coming of age on her 15th birthday. Anyway, in my opinion, while Bolinar is not the main villain, I think he's prim and proper, and he makes a decent father figure and a good voice of reason. Plus, I think it's both cute and funny when he accidentally switches bodies with Ellian's pet rodent Flink, courtesy of the magical fob. Finally, we come to the oracles of the sun and moon, Sunny and Luno, voiced by Titus Burgess and Nathan Lane. These guys are wise beings whom Princess Ellian consults in the hopes of getting her parents transformed back to normal. In my eyes, Sunny sticks out more than Luno does, mostly due to Nathan Lane's comedic charm. Anyway, when Ellian and her monster parents find them at their cottage in the dark forest, they reveal that the spell can be reversed if they go to the Lake of Light. And now for my final words. Overall, Spellbound is not a perfect animated film from Skydance or Netflix, but at the same time, it's not terrible either. To me, the animation is equally as beautiful as luck. The voice acting is pretty good. The songs by Alan Menken and Glenn Slater are nice to listen to, but there are several flaws, like a bit of toilet humor, and there's a theme regarding parents being separated. However, at the same time, I think it makes an okay coming-of-age story, and it has a pretty good family moral about always being there for the people you love, along with finding hope and joy in your lives. Now, I'm not really recommending this movie for everybody, but I say this film is pretty much worth watching if you like fantasy films and good music. And believe me, the ending will put you in tears. So, for my final rating, I give this film an 84% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me for my next blog, Mustang Power.
Only 13 months.